What's going on? We are here. Greg said it live. Back in the lab here. Back in the lab here. This show, once again, is brought to you all by Unified Strength. As you see, here and here. We've been Unified Strength the whole year. It's been the sponsor ongoing. I want to do some this week. I think we'll do some in the off week. Want to introduce you all to the brand. I'm not sure if you all really understand, but I think when the beginning of the year, if y'all remember, you actually follow me. If you're not subscribed, you definitely should be subscribed, especially if you're here. If you want to hit a reel, anybody can tell you want to hit a real and consistent reel. You don't get it nowhere but here. We're not doing stats. We're not doing film breakdown. We're definitely giving you the cutting edge on what's going on with the bus. Been with them since the last season, the inaugural season, the Coach Prime inaugural season here. But anybody who know, quiet as it kept. I told you how this season would go. People wanted to clown around all offseason. They thought it was cute, thought it was sweet. And I gave you the record, I gave you the breakdown, gave you what it is. I'm glad to see it come to pass because people make you think you crazy when they the one crazy. Hello. So, honestly, just looking at this team, what they're capable of, putting the right energy, right spirit behind this group. And it's been a great thing. And Unified Strength, I joined on with them. It's more than a apparel, but when you wear us, it has a whole new meaning, and it's gonna continue to have a new meaning. So it's behoove you to get this classic. It's cute, everything else, but it's a classic thing when you look at what this team is and where it's going. I think it's a big statement. I think that movement could be something strong for time to come. But it's definitely unique this season. And if you're getting all the shirts or whatever, you definitely should have one. This is almost like a what they call it. Brain is slipping here. It's not a trophy, but a classic piece. Words on the tip of my tongue. Definitely should have that. And like I said, we're gonna talk more about it in this off week for y'all to really get the mindset behind the brand itself and the movement in itself. We're gonna have the owner to come on and creator of the brand to come on and explain more about that. So you see it scrolling at the bottom. Grab your shirt. Like I said, it's a piece that is definitely representative this season. And looking at the chat here, I see you all coming in. Appreciate y'all. Keep that chat live. Make sure y'all get these likes up. Definitely feeling good outside of the lack of sleep. When they did practice at night at least once for about an hour. I think they did like from 6 to 7 or something like that. They did a little something. Shout out to Snellville for those who know in Georgia. This is a good point, just I mentioned him. It came out better on the offense. Lundy, I mean, that it is what it is. It is what it is with him. But Amos, I mentioned this. I mentioned when he left. So I'm a realist. I can see stuff coming. If people want to know the truth, they can talk to me. If they want to hear the cute stuff, you're probably better off going elsewhere. I'm gonna tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. And my truth is accurate, clearly. It ain't just a weak truth that I ain't gambling. I ain't no gambler. You can't trust a gambler. Get this power cord in. A gambler gamble. I'm not gambling. I'm using true evidence, analytical evidence. And so when I look at maybe antidote, I looked at what that boy Amos came here, and all of a sudden he was going to Ole Miss. They paid that boy, and they kind of mentioned it was money. But I said, if anybody who following, go back. Got plenty of videos. I said, man, if we get Hill Green, and it was a linebacker out of Tennessee as well. I said, we can get one of them linebackers and we get Amos, they can hand us the conference championship. I said that before it's a game, when anybody was seeing, everybody was clowning. And look at our offense, the running game and things. Imagine if we had that big back. We some of them short yardages and stuff we would get. Our offense would be a whole nother level. Now we see not Amos, but we see AI kicking in, and he's the bigger back. He's showing it. And I said this many games ago that he was our back. Coach Prime tends to not want to say that. I don't know why. Every time they try to get AI credit, he's like, well, we got other guys, which is true. And I see what he's doing. Now I know the portal's real because all these boys young. AI got about a couple years, at least one more year. Then he got a couple years. Hayden the same way. And also we have of course, Welch is still there, true freshman. Hood, true freshman. Want him there. His brother there. They holding hands, But he's a good running back, a young running back, and all these boys are young, so it's gonna be interesting because you got to feed them, and they all young, not like one a senior or whatever. So that portal can get active. And Amos, he had 1 year left. He chose to go to Ole Miss. That was the dumbest decision. He clearly didn't do his homework. Ole Miss was bringing players back. They had left. They had players there. They had other transfer. He was like number 4 on the depth chart. He left to be number 4 on a so-so SEC team, as if that was going to be some kind of team or any worth anything. Regardless, he has to fight for a position. We pretty much could have been the guy at Colorado. He knew he was going to be the guy. Our running back room had cleared out, and he got beside himself. I would hope somebody put up something to his head to make him do such a dumb thing. And I said that was the dumbest decision ever. Yeah, they must have had to threaten him, blackmail him, because that was the dumbest decision ever. Like I say, I saw the same thing. Discord link is always in the description of the video. It should be. Let's see if it was one of the banners here. Yeah, I do have it as one of these banners. Yeah, this is the Discord link right here. So y'all can check that out for what that's worth, screenshot, whatever. But y'all, it's in the description of the video. Again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. There, that's Discord link. We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this. I'm gonna tell y'all why. I'm gonna give y'all my analysis why that ending was like that. If you follow me, you probably have an idea. Yeah, they did some night practices. They didn't do night. They probably did more day than night, but they did some. And they didn't do like game time night practice. They did like a 6 to 7. They didn't do no 8 to 9 or 9 to 10. So that is a difference as well, because they didn't play at that time. They didn't play at 6 or 7. They played at 8. So you see some of the benefits of it, but you see some things that further help you understand what I was saying. They all can come back. Is will they? Who gonna get in their DMs and say, hey, come on over here? The one thing about running back, you never say. Ask Dylan Edwards. Ask what's my guy from last year down at Arizona State. Ask them. Ask these boys. You can't avoid competition at that position. You got to have depth for the safety of the team. So these teams, transferring ain't gonna guarantee you nothing. You leave a good situation where you understand it. You got a relationship with your team. Work your way up, and then you turn around and go transfer somewhere. It's gonna be sweet. And there's other guys transfer in. There's other guys there. You just don't know what's gonna happen, and you think it's just gonna be. It's not gonna be. So that's just the nature of competition. O-line did well, yes sir. Oh yeah, they definitely been doing well. They rotate. They let some guys sit on the bench, get hungry. Then they let them turn around and put pressure and fire up onto the guys that they're behind. So it keeps the spirit of competition going. At the same time, it keeps everybody healthy. And I was thinking about that, y'all. I was thinking about that because if you think about it, like if you really think about how this schedule works, for example, if you look at, okay, this is week 9. You got 4 games left. It's 13 weeks. So we actually got 4 games left. 2 at home, 2 away. You got Texas Tech away. Then you got Kansas away at the Arrowhead or whatever. So I think you got 2 away. Then you got 2 at home. You got Utah at home. They hear this shit, and Oklahoma State at home. We're going to finish at home, right? So you really look at it, it's a beautiful thing. It can be an issue. It's a beautiful thing. They got 2 bye weeks back to back. How they played all them games, got a bye week, played a few games, got another bye week. They got 3 games. They played like 4 games, got a bye week. Or was it 5? 4 games, got a bye week, played 3. So it had to be 5 games they played. Then they got a bye week, going 4-1, right? They 4-1. Then they were 4-2. Then they 5-2. Now they 6-2. And you look at it. If this bye week couldn't have came at a better time. Shadul walking like an old man. Every time he get hurt, he walk the same. He can break his back, break his knee, break an ankle, get knocked out, and he gonna walk around like Fred Sample every time. You don't know what hurt. He get up walking like your boy Desi. You know, he walking around like the content creator Desi. Feet all like the Air Force Ones, feet all out. Every time he get up, you know, what did he hurt? He got the same walk. But you look at it, these teams here got it going, man, because you got to think about, okay, you want to make the conference championship. You got to, right? This is some NFL type stuff. I'm going to show you how serious depth is and being injury-free is and how it's going to make a difference. These boys can mess around, go to conference championship, have a fight blow for blow. Then you talking about to get through the playoff, it's no longer 2 rounds, it's 3. So you ain't getting a bye. You play the first round, then you got to beat the second round, then you got to play the national championship. It really plays favor to who got the bye. They got 3 more games. Whoever win got 3 games after the season. Not 1 bowl game with a whole month in between. Or 2, a half, or a month and a half. They got played 3 games to get to the championship now. Plus the conference, because whoever playing usually go more. It's almost like the teams who don't make the conference title might have an advantage. I'm gonna be real with you. I heard people say that, but I'm really thinking about it. Like, if your record good enough, that conference title can hurt somebody depending on their record. Like if you got a let's say Kansas State make it. I'm not speaking up, but let's say BYU make it in Kansas State. Kansas State beat Iowa State. They make it. They got 1 loss. They just got their 2nd loss in the conference. That's why whoever make it gonna need to have 1 loss, because they have 2, they lose, they're gonna have 3. That's gonna take them out of the playoff. Let's say that they got the same record as us, but they got the head-to-head, but we rank, they rank, other people go to lose, and boom, 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 boom. Then you go up in there, and they say they decide to take, because people just go SEC doing dumb stuff. They, it's ACC doing better because Pitt's still undefeated. They helped Miami be undefeated, so they at least get 2 teams out of there. Big 10, they might beat each other upside the head. We know SEC beating each other upside the head. They swapping losses like swapping spit at a. You like, they can mess around and do some things. I'm gonna do a video on that sometime this week, possibly. I'm getting ahead. I kind of mentioned it before. They can mess around and hurt each other. We're gonna look at these schedules. Now, somebody like Colorado with the record, the fact that because our people who made it to the championship did so well, because that's not gonna be the case for SEC. They can mess around and have somebody with a 2 or 3 loss in the championship. I think they still got that left-right thing, and the not region, but the East and the West and all that. So when you look at the fact that if they do what they do to each other, Big 10, they got Indiana whooping everybody. They still ain't even in the top 10, which is weird. But they get everybody whooping on each other, give each other a couple of losses. It's gonna be interesting on how they decide, because somebody mess around and get 3 losses, and all our people got 1 loss or 2 losses and less. It's gonna be interesting. And you can mess around and slide up in there depending on how it go and not even be in the championship. That's weird, but it's possible. It's possible. So it might be an advantage not to play in the conference time. I remember back in the day, who did that? Alabama or something did it one year when they had the playoff, when they had the top 4, and Alabama and Georgia played, and one of them lost, but they still made the playoff. And then one time, one of them didn't, and people was mad. I think last year that was Georgia didn't make it. Sometimes they be undefeated and lose the game in the title game, or don't play in the title game or whatever, depending on how good you still make it. Sometimes it's an advantage. You didn't have to play in the title game, you still in the playoff. It's possible. But yeah, I think the O-line did well. Like I said, they compete. Amos blew it for sure. And they took away a critical piece to our run game because he's gonna be an upperclassman. Let's think about Hill Green running the ball. Amos was big as Hill Green. Amos 230 running back. If we ain't got no fullback, we got this. Well, imagine we had big Amos in the backfield on them short downs. It would have everybody be able to come up in the box. It would open up our passing. And I said they gave us that dude, they gave us the title. And that was just straight off of logic. That wasn't even based off of watching them play. Now y'all see what I was talking about. So Greg said know what he talking about when he said he know football. Clearly do. Gotta stay fresh, stay healthy. It's a long season if you think you're finna go bowling and all that and playoff and all that. It's nothing good about you going and playing on a good team if you ain't playing. When you had basically pretty much a Gary, our running back room was bare at the time. Our running room was bare at the time. He clearly had the opportunity to be the starting running back here on the hottest team around, but somehow he thought it was better for him. The SEC pipe dream in his head. And we go join all the great running backs of the SEC sit on the bench. You got a pipe dream, and so many of them don't make it. You go to a team full of running backs because maybe you could have went to another SEC team. Dumb decision. And I knew it was dumb when he did it. I don't know who he got in his ear. Like I said, I put stuff on here. I talked about the night practices and stuff like that. Because I have some sense, some common sense. Some people don't. Some people argue about all the stats and what they repeat other people said. They don't have no sense of their own. And they don't have, that's why they can't break down. Thank you. I know number. Hey, yep. That's interesting. They're gonna change the number middle of the year. Hope it for ain't bought no jersey. Cause he could have had it from day one. I mean, appreciate it here. Appreciate it. Should have happened. Yeah, I mean, it definitely should. Right now, based on what it looked like now, it would be because we got 2 undefeated teams. You don't want to have 3 losses because that kind of help with the SEC thing. You got to have at most 2, and that was going to be the case anyway. You got to have at most 2, and even though one of our lost outside the conference, but if you do get in that conference game, you got to win it because it can hurt you. You go in now. Let's say BYU go in there undefeated. They rank number 8. You go in now, you number 16, number 15. You feeling yourself, I'm gonna get in the Big 12, I'm gonna win the Big 12 and get in the playoff. We beat them, then you lose. You just lost the conference, and you just lost your chance of being in the playoff. Because now you got 2 conference losses, you got 3 losses overall. So you got to pick your doggone trying to play in that Big 12. Whoever plays Big 12, they got to win. If you go, because BYU can lose one. Let's say they rank number 8 and they lose to a number 15 team. They might still be in the top 10. They might be number 11. They still can go to the playoff, even though they lost because they've been undefeated. Now, BYU lose one before the conference and go lose the conference. They can mess around not being there too. So winning out is critical for whoever think they're going to make the playoff this time. But like I said, if you have undefeated record, everything's looking good for you right now. He's looking better. I don't care what nobody says. It's better than for anybody else. Jordan season, yeah, he's gonna be a grown man. Hate to see him in the next couple of years. He's gonna be able to be a bully. He's gonna be a grown man by the time he get his 3rd year. I believe it helps some. I think it helps some. Yeah, I mean that's irrelevant because Wester gonna be gone when Juju get here. Juju ain't coming this year, so either way, when Juju come, Wester not gonna be here. But it's interesting that you do at this point in the season, other than just try to create some more morale because your folks probably already got jerseys and it's rare anybody change jerseys in the middle of the year in any sport like this. This is like symbolic. Yes, absolutely. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Like I said with this night practice thing, We'll see. It'll be interesting. Um, like I said, I think they practice at night, closer to the night game, but they didn't practice like game time night. I think it helps because the closer to your game time you practice, the better. Like people in high school is but you're not practicing at the time, but you sit around and quiet. I mean, you sit around waiting for the practice all day, tired, and your body's used to sitting around waiting and perform. Even though you probably practicing at 3-4 o'clock, and when your game start at 7, you may end practice at the time you start. So that's close. But that's the only time high school teams play. And they typically know high schools is training your body to only perform in the morning. Most high schools don't practice in the morning. Some do. So it's all about preparation. Yeah. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something about this, Alan. Absolutely. I'm gonna say something that I saw immediately. Now, do you see they showed the infographic? I started taking a picture of it. Everybody who they thought was gonna win, the Utahs, Oklahoma State, they ain't hit on nothing. And then all of a sudden they show the new side. You got us, Cincinnati, even TCU don't pop back in there. And it's like, it's interesting that the teams they at the bottom kind of don't flipped up. Iowa State, they kind of, some people thought Iowa State been down. They are. I didn't see nobody predict the BYU. So when you look at it, when you look at this thing, it's gonna get really, really interesting because Cincinnati is a lot better than anybody thought. And what I saw in Cincinnati, I mean, they can't do nothing in Colorado. Colorado don't beat themselves, like throwing interceptions, fumbling, crazy stuff. If they don't do that, they beat you, hands down. Especially in this conference, hands down. They got too many weapons. As you see, they got too many weapons. You got Jimmy Horn running all over the place. You got Weston running all over the place. Travis Horn running all over. Travis Hunter running all over the place. Will Shepard running all over the place. And you got accuracy and ability of Shador. Then they got a running game. The guy that's kind of in you up, hitting you 5 yards, 6 yards. It's second and short. It's hard to come up against that because you're like, do you come up and cover that? Do you have to worry about all them animals running around in the back there? And Shador's so accurate. The only way you beat them is if they don't block. Now, we also see, and we get into the good and bads, that the line blocking well. They ain't give up multiple sacks, but a few sacks in a game, last several games. They said they just ranked us. People been predicting they were going to be somewhere around there, 21, 22, 23. They had to. They had to do it because there's so many teams that lost. I think Army lost, Missouri lost. So many of them teams in the 20s lost, and it's only gonna help. Yeah, we get into all that. It's only gonna help. It's only gonna help when you look at it because of the going forward. I don't think they make. I mean, that's why you looking at somebody just ranking you at this late in the season. They hold back the ranking, hope you lose to Kansas State. They didn't want to rank you before Kansas State because they said you ain't played nobody ranked. Well, all the teams that they thought Colorado was going to be ranked, you notice how they scheduled them. They scheduled all of them at the end. It was going to be back to back. Kansas supposed to be ranked. Kansas State supposed to be ranked. All these teams supposed to be ranked on the back end. I think Arizona, they put Arizona and Kansas State kind of right by each other. So that's how the schedule was set up. Originally, it just didn't work out that way. It just didn't work out that way. So I'm taking my note there. So, I don't know. I know one of them lost. I don't know if both of them lost. I thought it was Army. Navy lost. I don't know. Verify that. Yeah. Yeah, it's some things. But what I was getting at, Cincinnati is going to be a big ally. Cincinnati is what Kansas State's supposed to be to us now. If we beat Kansas State is now a tool in our tool belt. They're a pawn for us because now we can go beat everybody Kansas State because we had to head over there. No matter what they do, they work for us. They are employed, right? They employed. Absolutely. Get these likes and subscriptions. So we got 100. I hope everybody here subscribe. Don't hold back on the subscriptions. It costs nothing. You definitely want to be here in your best interest because I think I've been very accurate. Some of your favorite may not. They played it safe, and that's fine. But I'm gonna say what it is. I'm not playing it safe. If you be wrong, you be wrong. We kind of analyze, see stuff coming, and we was able to provide some insight to the team with the Knight situation, because, like I said, Cincinnati is a team that now they play both Kansas State and Iowa State. I think they play Iowa State one week and Kansas State the next week, and I think they play both of them away. What I saw in Cincinnati, if UCF can scare a team like Iowa State, if Oklahoma State can scare a team like BYU, I believe that Cincinnati can beat both Iowa State. Not only wishful thinking, but after looking at it, I believe that Cincinnati is a team that realistically can beat both of those teams based off watching them play, because they have the ability to run the ball and they got a quarterback. And a lot of people, I think, underestimated their quarterback. They people believe in them, and I think the world is saying, I think that quarterback is just as good, if not better, than the Kansas State quarterback. They kind of remind me of each other. He's a little bigger, probably a little more accurate of a passer, not as athletic. But I think that the way Cincinnati played more identical. We just played a better game offensively. We didn't play from behind. Defense didn't get cut up too bad. But I think that this team definitely can beat Kansas State, and that will help us. And I also think they can beat Iowa State. I think their defense is good enough. I think the offense is good enough to beat. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Look here. I'm glad you say this. I don't give a rat's behind what anybody say. This is my channel. They here watching me. Let's be real. Let's be all the way real. Nobody gonna come in and tell me what to say. I know exactly why I'm saying it. And somebody dumb enough to say that, come on. You the one sitting here on play 6 out of 8 games. You the team that everybody else, nobody else ain't gonna. You think Alabama gonna let anybody? Hey, Colorado has not played a daytime home game yet. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Yes, sir. Let that sink in. Colorado, I want to know who else ain't played a daytime home game. I've been when I played college football, and go to it now, homecomings, others. I don't know no team who don't have at this point 4 home games out of 8. Or is it 5? This was game 8. 4 home games out of 8 at this point. We played North Dakota. That's all we do. That's what we stand on. I'm not standing on ESPN talking points. Nobody else talking points. I mean, that was a given. That's why I said they didn't take it serious enough. That's a given, because they can be your worst nightmare. Because they can be if anybody else lose, they could be the one to pop in. Especially if they beat Iowa State at the end. Iowa State don't have no other losses, and they have no other losses. They could be the one in next man up to go against BYU if BYU don't lose. So if you look at the fact they haven't played no home, so we played. It is what it is. Called it's basic common sense, and it's a reason why you come out second half, because you was asleep the first one. That's what happens, But North Dakota State, then we went to Nebraska. Then we flipped the schedule, so we went to Colorado State. Then we came back and played Baylor. That's 2 games. Then we went another away game, went to Central Florida. Then we came back and we played Kansas State. So that was 3. Then we just played Cincinnati. So we actually had 4 out of 4, right? And out of 4 games, all of them was at night. 2 of them was at midnight. You can blame on ESPN, you can blame on whatever. I'm just saying, out of 4 home games, you couldn't get them 1 day game. Last year, that's all we had was day games in the beginning. We played at bit noon every day, every week was at noon. Played early against TCU. We played early against Nebraska. Then we played at night, like that's normal. We played at night at Colorado State. Called that night game. That wasn't at 10:15, but that was night game. Then you turned around and you played day game against Oregon. Then you played day game against USC. All right. Then you played like a night game against Arizona. And then it's like once they figured out Colorado couldn't play worth of crap at night, pay attention. Because all this crap is TBA. Once they figured out Colorado played better than the day. I mean, they kind of handed to Nebraska. They didn't do that great against Oregon. Oregon jumped on them, but USC, they about to run USC down. And they say, they almost lost to Colorado State. Then they understand they struggled against Arizona State. Then they said everything was night game from that point on. Arizona was at night. UCLA was at night. Stanford was super late at night. Washington State was at night. And then they had the last game with Utah, was a day game, and they beat the mess out of Utah. They took 3 touchdowns from them. They said, we learned our lesson. We just need to keep them at night. These fools dumb enough to keep letting us schedule them at night, and they say that, say, it's for marketing dollars, we're going to keep scheduling them at night. That's what they did. They ain't stupid. You may be, to be real, because they looking at the analytics more than us. We looking at the emotions, ESPN is definitely, and they always put you on the night game where the other game run over and you miss the first 10 minutes of your game. ESPN, that's them. Put you at night and put you behind the game that they take their time in. That's ESPN for it. So I'm just wondering, for people say it's a dead horse, I'm just wondering how many more night games left. Somebody tried to have the audacity to tell me it's over. Who is you to tell me there's no more night games? Who is you? Who you work for? Because I guarantee you that ain't their last night game. They don't give you that many night games. I'm just ready to see how many. You got 2 away games. You got 2 day games. I'm just wondering, would they have a day game at home out of these, either Oklahoma State or Utah? I'm just wondering, is the dumb excuse going to keep going forward? Because I guarantee you ain't their last night game. I wouldn't be surprised they play a night game at Texas Tech. Because that it'll be more conducive for Texas Tech to play them at night, because that's when Texas Tech, put their hoodoo on. They throwing little taco shells or whatever on the football field, like we throwing water bottles. They throwing junk on the field, and it's nighttime, and they bouncing around. And that's the only way you really can benefit from the home advantage at TCU. I mean, not TCU, Texas Tech. So it wouldn't even be beneficial for them to send them down there at 3, 4 o'clock, because they'll beat the mess out of them like they beat Arizona. So I wouldn't be surprised they throw a night game at Texas Tech. I won't be surprised. For those who say we ain't got no more night games, it will be added to the list. Right now, you 6 night games out of 2 day games. Congratulations for all who say the horse is dead. Your brain is dead. If you think it's dead, then you got 8 games and 6 of them at night and 2 of them at midnight. I call it midnight because everybody will fall asleep with all your good old marketing dollars on TV. And people got woke up like they hung over, headache, my head hurt and everything. Stand up all night. I got to catch up on my sleep the next few days. Stand up to 1 o'clock watching football game. Shout out. Arlington. All right, go ahead and get it. Gamble on it like everybody else gambling. Get your tickets and everything. So you might be able to flip and make some money on them tickets. Well, yeah, that's a given. When they beat you, that's a given. That's why you could have finished them if you had to beat them. They didn't take that. They didn't understand the real significance of that game. They could have. But I'm gonna tell you something I do realize, and I said it, and I'm gonna really say it after yesterday. Yeah, they marketing all right. They marketing. But it shows that we had had Travis play, we would have won that game. All the dumb stuff we did, if we had Travis on defense, that would look different. The end of the game would look different. We had him on offense. There's no way he would not found the window and help us get that first down on that last drive. Travis on that field would have made a difference. Everybody know it. Shador lost that game after we should have won it with 4 of his top receivers down, pretty much before halftime. Mario went out a little before that, but Travis and Jimmy were out most of the game. And people don't talk about that. And that's why I said I don't respect that. And then they kind of laid out on the field. I didn't respect KSU, how they played that game. Just my speculation, getting the time. I was of the kid. What you talking about? I missed something. Making a song for the kid. Game days and our shit was up. I mean, that's a given. Only fool would think that you're going to get more views at 10 o'clock at night than you would at 4 while people are waiting. You're not considering the fact that everybody don't want to stay up on the East Coast till 1 o'clock watching no game. So you can't tell me you're going to get more views during the time where they already going to be watching the game. And you got kids and adults and who going to be watching that and not be drooling on themselves trying to watch the game and blinking. You can tell me that is more. So that has nothing to do with it. That late slot, like I said 1,000 times, is for the West Coast teams. That's who it's for. Now one of them teams, matter of fact, Cincinnati had to suffer some themselves, but they were playing at midnight for real, because they from the East Coast, from the East time zone or whatever. Yeah, so that shows you how stupid that reality is, because most of our views, we on the East Coast. Most of the CU people come from the East. They know that. You play Cincinnati, they from the East. It's absolute no reason why them two teams played at 10:15 Eastern time. It's no excuse for it. Go be a clown by your doggone self. You're gonna sit and tell me that. Trying to that's a dead horse. So they had no excuse for that, other than setting them up. I think they kind of, I don't know, they tricked Cincinnati up or not, but they know the data on Colorado. They do anything. They hurt the other team to hurt Colorado for sure. For sure. They revealed that thing. Yes, sir. ESPN night game. They ain't did nothing but be your night game. So I'm just glad to be on TV. They should be glad to have you be on TV. They benefit from you. They would be stupid not to put you on TV because I'm sure somebody else will. They fighting over you. Remember last year, Colorado winning? Big Noon and doggone college game. They was dumb enough to go on the campus at the same time. It ain't ever happened, as far as I know. Like, they couldn't wait till the next week. They were fighting over Colorado. Colorado is ain't desperate. They need, as long as Colorado winning, the networks be stupid not to put them on TV. They putting you in a situation to lose. That's why you end up not on TV like last year. You end up on the Pac-12 network. So it benefits them when you win. So why would you let them put you in a situation to lose? If they know that's not your best time. And saying, well, it's helping me out. No, they ain't helping you out. Because the more you win, it helps both of y'all out. Oh, my. If anything, I'm going to present this. If anything, I'm going to make it clear what's going on. Oh, we'll get down. We're going to close out the show with a good, bad, and ugly. Well, everybody got to play God. It don't matter what it is. Or you do it in every mountain, man. We talked about that before. Religion, politics, education. Somebody always trying to play God. And playing God look like control. And playing God look like, manipulation and deception and programming people against their own best interest. That's what it looked like. And I don't think it's our best interest to support playing Colorado at a time when we know they suffer at. The only Big 12 team, if you look at the they're showing, yeah. As for now, that until they keep beating the mess out of each other over there. They keep beating the mess out of each other in the SEC. All the teams supposed to be undefeated, win one game, end up with 2-3 losses. It's gonna be interesting. I think practice at night helped, but I mean, I think they did it probably one night, It don't work like that. So, they was, defense was kind of like, to me, played almost similar to Kansas State, almost. Offense came out a little quicker. Yeah. You look at last season, the whole second half of the season was nighttime, except, like I said, Utah. And they held their breath because they had to cheat all kinds of ways to stop Utah. And they but massacred on TV. Still TVs and touchdowns in plain sight. That's what they had to do to beat Colorado, to keep their narrative going. 4-8, 4-8. They beat the mess out of Utah. And they weren't prepared for it, so they had to cheat blatantly. Nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to talk about last year they let out the cat out. Last week they let the cat out the bag when they played Arizona. By the way, Colorado was 4-2 at this point last year too. When we were 3-3. Now think about it. Think about it. Before they cut that night game switch on, I just told y'all when the night game started. They were 4-2 last year, and then they said they won no more games. They cut the night game and the referee switch on. They cheated, put them to sleep. They figured it out and worked against Colorado. He was 4-2 at Arizona. Arizona helped them get in field goal position to beat you by at the last second field goal. Penalties and all that crap helped them get back in the game. Same crap they do now. And that strategy was used against Colorado for every close game, which was every game was close, except Washington State going forward. Every close game for them, they figured something out. It's like they figured something out. We know how to beat Colorado. That's what they figured out. Because somehow every game Colorado was in, somehow they was magically not in. Let y'all think about that. While y'all talking all this, let you figure that out. How Colorado was 4-2 last year. Everybody was all on. Somebody figured out how to switch and made sure Colorado lost every game. And all those games were about 1 point, 3 points, 6 points. All of them happened at the end of the game with some crazy referee call or not call. Like how Will Shepard keep getting ran through, held down. And we blame him, victim blame. Oh, well, he should have tried to catch it. Man, that man had his whole arm wrapped around his neck, broke his arm and wrapped around his back, and standing on top of his head. And they don't call no penalty. And we say, well, he should have fought for the ball. With one arm falling backwards. Victim blaming, right? I don't know about Kaepernick. Kaepernick got paid way more when he left the game. Somebody paid him well to do whatever he was doing because his Nike check was bigger than any NFL check he was about to get. I think it was in the hundreds of millions. I don't know. Do a little research. Like he got paid to do what he do, from what I remember. Plus, he was at the back end of his career. He wasn't at the front. He was not that good of a quarterback. If he could play, Tebow should have played. Tebow was pretty good. They dogged him out every which way. He out there praying and stuff. They said he not no good. They ain't had no record to show that. Don't be standing with that like button. No, I ain't heard nothing about them. Cincinnati. They just need to focus on being our little whoopee boys and go out there and beat Iowa State and Kansas State. That's all they need to focus on. That's all they need to focus on. They work for us now. They have officially been employed. They're on payroll. We tried to put KSU on payroll. The refs let us get. We helped ourselves get. So now we got Cincinnati on payroll. They work for us now. They work for us now, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these stats up like we always do. 34-23. And we're going to get into the good, bad, and ugly. I'm going to try to stay away from it. First quarter. Sound familiar? Colorado, 14. Cincinnati, 7. Second quarter. Colorado scored 10. Cincinnati scored 7. So here we are, 24-14 at halftime. We up by 10 points, touchdown and field goal. We got a field goal right before. Colorado come out, third quarter, only score 7. Cincinnati score none. And then fourth quarter, Cincinnati scored 9. They tried to go for. So how they got 9. Cincinnati got 9. Because they tried to go for a touchdown and an extra point, and then they got a field goal later. So that's how they got 9 for y'all who didn't watch, fell asleep. And Colorado got 3. So Cincinnati 7, 7, 0, 9. Colorado 10, 10, 7, 3. We're going to break this thing down, don't worry. So we're going to look at these team stats. Colorado total yards 446. Cincinnati 351 total. Colorado threw from 323 yards. Cincinnati threw for 180. Rushing yards, Colorado ran for 123. But Gustav almost had, I think he almost had 100. I think he got somewhere around 93, something like that. 91. We'll see. Cincinnati rushed for 171. We had 6.3 yards per play. Cincinnati had 5.7 yards per play. Their third down efficiency was 3 out of 10. They couldn't convert. Ours was 7 out of 13. They got 1 fourth down out of 3. We had 0 out of 0. We didn't go for those fourth downs, even though we could have went twice. We punted. Total plays, we had 71. They had 62. We both punted 3 times each. We had 5 penalties for 68 yards. They had 9 for 69. Our penalties seemed to clearly count for more because we only had 5. They had 9, and they only had 1 yard more than us. So that's cute. You had 4 more penalties than us, but you only had 1 yard more than us. So y'all see what kind of penalty we get. None of us fumbled. None of us threw interception. It was a turnover-less game. Our time possession was 32 minutes, 42 seconds. And our time of possession was 27. And their time of possession was 27 minutes, 18 seconds. So we basically only had the ball a little under 5 minutes longer than them. A lot of this has to do with how we finish our game, somebody say. Because that doesn't sound like a dominant victory, but again, we let them crawl back in the game late. They even think that they can try to score late. Even though the game was over, just the fact they felt they can do that. That's what we're dealing with. I'm trying to see. So Augusta rushed for 91 yards, 4.1 yards per carry, and 22 carries. Hayden had 10 carries for 36 yards, 3.6 a carry. Shador had 5 yards and a touchdown. 5 carries for 1 yard, they said, touchdown. Must took some of his sack yards from him. Travis Hunter had 153 yards out of 9 catches. 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Horn had 78 yards and 5 catches. Wester had 56 yards and 5 catches. Draylon Miller had 27 and 2 catches. Will Shep only had 1 catch for 6 yards. That's interesting. Outside of pass interference, everything. I guess they had 1 for 2. And Hayden had 2 for 1. And that's something. What's going on? This thing was not showing. Yeah, they did that the whole game. That's why I said, y'all watch that game and say, they whining the whole game as if they making excuses why Arizona losing. Like, they can't enjoy the win. He got hurt and he not playing. Like you said, smart analysis. They say crap about how Arizona, Kansas State barely got through us. Yeah, I'm feeling it right now, man. Like, the sun hit me all crazy. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. The sad thing, they run it on top of sleep heads. People leaning with it, rocking with it. Imagine how much money they can make. They actually run the advertising. The people awake. People in there struggling, trying to watch the game. Something. Because it showed taking them out, obsolete. But I thought they were trying to make money though. That contradict. They sabotaging the followers, but they trying to make money. Sound like a conflict of interest. You know. Yeah, it's definitely cooler at night, especially later in the year. Oh, well, we know that. People keep losing. Like I said, I think Cincinnati gonna catch one of them. Now it can work like this: Cincinnati can catch Iowa State and clip them, and then that makes it easier for Kansas State to get in, and then Iowa State can get revenge on Kansas State that last game. That last game gonna be significant. Or Cincinnati can go clip both of them. Cincinnati can be like, forget y'all. We only got one loss. What was it? Well, how many losses? 2 losses in the conference. We finna give y'all 2 so we can have head to head. That's what they can do. Yeah, he got it. Well, I'm glad to play, but I'm not glad to play. What else can he say? People, yeah, like, what else can he say? He don't told y'all enough. He don't told y'all enough of what he feel without having to keep saying it. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, yeah. They do everything they can. And I noticed that all the undefeated teams that they play, I know that they all got something in common. The refs give them crazy calls that they don't give us to help them get back in the game. That's how Kansas was able to get back in the game. Kansas State was able to get back in the game. That's how BYU. That's how all these teams. I saw BYU against Central Florida in the beginning of the game. When Central Florida was moving the ball and hanging on, they was giving BYU the craziest calls. They give teams calls to get them the momentum. They get them the call to get them an extra possession, to get them an extra down. They give them, and them teams take advantage of it and score when you could have got off the field. That's freaking football. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. They could have been doing that, just changing mindset. Like they could have been practicing at night. It ain't nothing miraculous change. They just decided to do it. Yeah. I remember they ran up the score against Utah, and they took 3 touchdowns off the board. You only can do what you can do, and ain't no guarantee. Yeah. Arizona State was at night, and they almost ended up in overtime. And they started off decent against Arizona State. The network determines that. And who determines what the network is doing? You look at the history that will determine that. It ain't what I say, it's the history. Look at the history of the network with the team and look at the results with the team. See, when you analyze stuff, you can't be lazy. And I think most people are lazy. They wait for like people to tell them what they're doing. And you expect a liar to tell you what they're doing. Like somebody's diabolical and they've shown you they're diabolical. They've dogged your coach out all season. And yet you believe what they say. They showing you how they really feel about you. They showing you they don't really want you to win. They're not for you. Yet you expect them to be honest and genuine about their motives and to tell you the truth. All you do is look at what they're doing. Look at their goal and look at the results. What you talking to them for? See, they're showing you what their goal is. You see, they say ESPN is like partners with the SEC, whatever. To some degree, that's the word, right? And then you look at how do you make sure that SEC teams get announced, but make sure like teams like Colorado don't. Because if Colorado's close enough, it's gonna be an uproar. If they like 10-2 and they rank like number 14, and then one of them SEC teams lose or losing championship, somebody you gotta put Colorado in. You don't want to be in that situation. They try to make sure Colorado have enough loss in the beginning of the season to not even have an argument. The last thing they want to do is have this first year of the playoff in Colorado be in it. Period. Last thing they want to do. Hey man, I told y'all I know I told y'all keep labeling these referees. I told y'all last year in Pac-12, this is the Pac-12 referee. People ought to argue me. They've been doing this before y'all got here. I don't know. I told y'all it wasn't no 12, no 10, no conference. They are all. Did not Keyshawn Johnson tell y'all that these people are getting together behind the scenes, helping each other go up against Coach Prime? Do you not see the media attacking this man? How do you put it just on the referees? On one particular group of referees? Do you not think the message that got to the Pac-12s will also get to the Big 12 or the SEC or wherever he go, whoever he play against? If they're all in, if it's a bigger issue, it sure ain't the referees. Sure they ain't the referee committee, club, or what they call them. Clearly ain't them that's determining if Coach Prime win their own little power structure. The union, referee union ain't doing it. This is something that's bigger than that. They look at you, get clothesline, and then they smile and don't throw the flag, and then you bump into the other person and beep, and get a person an automatic first down when you just stop them. Clearly, it's bigger than you trying to. Oh, this is referee, this is that group. I told y'all it's no group. This is a bigger system at play. It would be nice for it to be a noon game because Colorado clearly ain't had one. The earliest Colorado has played this year is 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. The game they played in Arizona was the earliest game they played this year. You mess around and let this be a noon kickoff, it's going to beat the mess out of Texas Tech, and they know it. Because they don't have no benefit of playing Colorado in the daytime, because that's Colorado time, for one. Every game they play have shown that. And two, you don't have that old weird heebie-jeebie nighttime home in the dark, jumping over their head, throwing stuff at the back of their head on bench. They ain't got that effect at night. And they done painted themselves in the corner because they don't overplay their night game hand. So you really at the point now where you gotta get them a day game. And that's why I'm staying on their neck. So we see y'all old creepy devils. We see you. We see you. Yes, sir. We see what y'all doing. That's right. Cincinnati gonna get somebody. They good enough. And they mad. So while they doing this record, they need to go and get on their job. Well, it look like Vegas already screwed. They say too big, too red. That's what happened. They was hoping we to go to the wire. That crap worked last year, not this year. Put it to work. Yeah. Yeah, we get into that briefly. You own it. You own it. I call it the killer instinct. I don't like it either. He tried to run underneath instead of stay over top. I don't know what that was about. But I say, he been playing too long. See, Cincinnati gotta get their bowl game too. And guess who they play next, guys? Drum roll. Iowa State gotta come out of bye week. They was watching. They gotta go. They gotta see Cincinnati, and Cincinnati gotta clinch their little bowl game too. Cincinnati, mark my word, Greg said it. Time stamp at 1:38 p.m. Cincinnati gonna get Iowa State. They're gonna get Iowa State next week for sure. I was wondering, and I've seen it. Iowa State ain't that good. As long as, because Iowa State, you gotta have a dynamic quarterback to beat Cincinnati. I don't think they're gonna beat them on the run. And they got that running quarterback, Iowa State. He messed around and get hurt. I think Cincinnati defensive line is good enough to because they're only rushing 3. See, that's what you do when you playing against a running quarterback. Rushing, damn the run. You got about 2-3 linebackers waiting on him. You just got a real passer in Shador. You just can't. He's a real passer, and our running game was working. But it's not going to be good for a running quarterback That's why I say they can mess around and get All-State, and they can mess around and get Kansas State, because Kansas State either gonna run the ball or they gonna throw the ball to tight end in the middle. And it seemed like they kind of like they dropping like 8 and they send in the middle. So it's gonna be a matchup issue. I expect Cincinnati to make some noise based off who they got to play and who we need them to play. I mean, sure, they're gonna get his numbers regardless. He did at Jackson State. He gonna get them. Yeah. No, Charlotte went underneath and trailed behind him, man. You can't cover nobody trailing behind in the red zone. You stay in front of him. He had to come to you. And if they had threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, you had 2 other guys there, and then you fit the scene. You can't cover the guy from behind. You are the last line of defense, so you can't do that. Yeah, he tried. Yeah. Yeah. And then somebody should have broke his. Somebody should have did something to him. I told y'all in the beginning of the season. That was the first thing they quote unquote harping on. And the fool don't see it's still going on. I try to tell people that about these refs. I talked about it from the whole last season to this one. Watch the refs. Told everybody that. Let them know they being seen. Yeah, because they on ESPN. And they trying to wait till the other game in. And he still end up, then he still had to end up going to ESPN News. That's what happened when you play at 10:15 at night. Well, I don't know about you, but you saying you play cable. Yeah, I don't play. I got a Tanggula box. I'm gonna tell you all about it. Defeatcable.com. Defeatcable.com. Defeat Cable. Get your Tanggula box. Pay one time, don't pay no more. I watch all my games. Even when they go, I told y'all when they move them games to ESPN News, you missed the game. Told you get your Tanggula box. But now you're able to catch the beginning of the game because I got all the ESPN channels. I got the app channels. I got everything. So they put it on start on another channel. I found that out last year. I'm able to see the beginning of the game. That's why I told y'all to get a Tanggula box. Y'all gonna listen to me. Pay the one-time fee. Don't pay no more. Yeah, they got a lot going on. Everybody's the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody is the greatest thing when it's coming to Colorado. Because you don't want to give Colorado no credit. Yeah. They brainwash people, man. They got to brainwash you. If you at the game and you watch the game, I mean, I went to the game and I come back and listen to it. They got to program you. Because the stuff they were saying, I ain't even see that perspective until I watched the game. It didn't add up. They kind of program you on what to see with their mouth. But if you watch the game, you see it differently without their words. That's their whole purpose. Oh yeah, as I say, that's how they got that, man. I mean, that's how they got that last year. Like I said, everybody, oh, they're a bowl game, bowl game. They was a bowl team last year. Let's be real. They supposed to be at least 75 last year. I think they was an 8-4 team. That's giving them the losses they got blew away and the close losses. They should have been, but no less than 75 last year. And they're making a bowl game. They just told you last year at Arizona time they was 4-2. They knew Colorado was only 2 games away from bowl game last year, and they made sure they lost every last game they played. Stanford game, they should have beat Stanford. They messed up with Stanford, but they could have put Stanford away from one for all them crazy penalties. Travis Hunter pushed the man after been pushing around the whole game, got the penalty, got Stanford another possession after stop on third down. That's how they end up winning that game. That's what happened. So yeah, Yeah, Charlo, the boy stood over Charlo, said something, bumped him while he was on the ground. Charlo grabbed his foot. The boy kicked out. The boy kicked out the foot and flopped on the ground like a little girl. And they got Charlo for that flag. Yes, Charlo shouldn't touch him, but the boy stood over Charlo, bumped him while he was on the ground. The referee was standing right there. And then Charlo grabbed his foot. The boy kicked his own foot, flailed, and fell on the ground. The boy did all that himself, and they threw the flag. And of course, because it was Charlo, it was justified. It was that. It was this. It was that. Charlo, all he did was grab that boy's foot because the boy was standing over him, bumping him. Almost knocked Charlo over. He was like on one knee. He bumped Charlo. Charlo did like that, grabbed his foot because the boy was still standing over him, and the boy kicked his foot and fell. Did all that. That's what happened with Charlo. I watched the whole thing, and of course, they can oversell it. Yeah, I mean that was set up from the beginning. It was designed for Colorado to lose. Matter of fact, I remember infographic when after they beat UCCF, it was suspected that Colorado will beat all the remaining games except the Kansas State game. I thought that was interesting, and then they did. They lost to them. So I think it was designed for them to lose. That's why they couldn't call the flag, pass interference, and all that stuff that was going on. They were very cautious about throwing flags in the favor of Colorado. Absolutely. I don't know. I mean, maybe the defense played a little more aggressive after. I don't know. Maybe they played a little. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, he bumped. Yeah. He lucky shot on to get up and hit him in the mouth. The referee was standing right there. Said nothing. They were hitting. And I like to see him hit more than reach. They say, yeah, they was trying to speak stuff in existence. Like, man, he went down for a tackle. It's targeted. Like everything is targeted. Every hit is targeted. You got a helmet on for a freaking reason. You're gonna get hit in the head. Well, you know, if you say Tanggula Box is more than about the YouTube, I guarantee you Tanggula Box got more than YouTube. Tanggula Box got every channel local. YouTube don't. If you watch if your team is in another state on the West Coast and your side, they say NFL or whatever, not showing it, you can turn to their local Fox. Like your Fox may be showing the East Coast game, and let's say you trying to watch an Arizona game, you can turn to Arizona local Fox and watch the Arizona Cardinals. The YouTube can't do that. There's a lot of stuff I didn't realize about YouTube. YouTube got every movie. Now, all the new movies that's came out within the last couple months, it has that. It has new movies on there. It has all the old movies you forgot about. You can find them on there. You can't find them on Amazon Prime and all these other ones. You can't find them on YouTube. YouTube block your butt trying to find movies. So you can find all the movies you want, all the old TV shows. Man, I found Mr. Rogers, man, way back before I even knew Mr. Rogers was out. Reading Rainbow. I found all the childhood shows I was showing my kids. You know, Family Matters. I'm able to find all this stuff. That's what the box do. So it's more than just saying about a game. You got all the games. You got every network. You got pay-per-view. You got all that on there. YouTube don't have that. That's why YouTube whole idea is to get you on YouTube TV. They're not gonna give you that. Last week was sabotage from within. That's why I know a person is ignorant if they tell me it's about money. Because if it was about money, Colorado would be your favorite team. That's they got to use common sense. Don't contradict yourself. If If Colorado was in the playoff, it would bring you way more money. So you would think that the refs would cheat to get Colorado in there. You would think that they would put them at all the favorable times because they know that's your cash cow. You don't work against your cash cow. If it's about money, I would put them at all the best times. I would put them in every position to win. If it's about money. So I would want Colorado in the best bowl game. I want them to play off everything if it was about money. You're right. The more they win, the better it is for everybody. I mean, they can. And they should if they don't beat themselves. Yeah, but that's what happened to Travis. I told you Travis got pushed all around out of bounds every play against Stanford last year. Big old receiver. He hit Travis after the play, every play, all on the sideline. They should have just took a penalty then. And he kept doing it, and Travis Hunter finally pushed him back, and they threw a personal foul. He pushed him. And that's how Stanford was able to, it was a 3rd and long. Colorado finally stopped them, and it became first down, automatic first down, and then Stanford scored after that. And that's how they ended up going to, I think they ended up going to overtime. Yeah. Like the boy who twisted Shador foot. Yeah. 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 Well, the guy who went around Travis on the head. Yeah, if you want to be an ambassador, I'll see what we can do. Go get them sales. I need to get me some sales reps. Get some sales reps out here. Yes, sir. But you clearly benefiting. When you think about it, you got 2 boxes, and you ain't, and you know, with the number of channels you got, I'm sure that'll be the super duper uber premium package to get all the channels you got. You will be paying $200 a month and still don't got all the channels you got. So I know you saving money. And you got 2 boxes. I know you saving money. You know, when you look at the fact that you ain't paying a cable bill every month, that's the sense. At this day and time, it ain't worth it. Yes, sir. Got all them old school channels on there, movies and TV shows. Phone blowing up, really good against the cash cow knowing. Yeah, that's why I know it ain't about the cash cow, because they going, it's a conflict of interest. Like if CU was my cash cow, they get everything they want. They would be like, oh, y'all just love Coach Brian. You give him everything he want. He only play at 1 o'clock because they know that's the best time to play. He all his home games. He didn't play not one home game at night. He only play one. How do you get to play all your home games at night? Come on now. Who wants that? Y'all be serious. You actually went to college. Be for real. Make my nose stop up now. Who would do that? Think about it. Let's get into this good, bad, and ugly. Let's get into this good, bad, and ugly and close out this show. My good. Colorado's bowl eligible. Speaking of that, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna go ahead and do my video I've been planning to do for my inspiration, motivation about my mindset behind being bowl eligible. You know, I might even change this title. I need to change this title. In my other show gonna be about being bowl eligible. I'm gonna change this title. So, congratulations, Colorado, bowl eligible. What that mean? All right. Fastest nighttime offensive start. That was good. Running game, good. I almost had over 100-yard rushing. Maybe that trip up he had would have got him. I don't know. Maybe we should have ran the ball a couple more times. You know, we had another running back in. Sack total only had 1 sack, and even Shador say that was on me. Travis played lights out. That's my goods, right? Any other goods y'all got, put them in the chat, because Travis, he played like he ain't had no shoulder injury. Really. He was all over the place. Pass breakups, um, touchdowns, catches, clutch catches, diving, falling. It's almost like he, you know. So somebody said he quit ESPN. I don't know. I know he's with NFL Network. I don't know. I think that's who he was with. Bad. Like I said, missing that killer instinct. When you jump out on somebody 14 points, 10 points, you go 7-3. Like somebody said, that second half, the way they play, they don't play the same. They took their foot off the gas. And it's a dangerous thing to take your foot off the gas when the other team foot is still on their gas. And you were so far ahead of them, but it was just like, okay, what's next? They kind of like let teams run them down. They kind of did it with North Dakota State. So they got to work on that. Like if they not playing from behind, again, that thing has a lot to do with Shador. I know you say he was hurt, he was this, but they don't have the same intensity if they're not playing from behind. They don't have the killer instinct to just keep scoring and bear a team. If they not down by a touchdown or two in the third and fourth quarter, they tend to stop scoring. I talked about this. They tend to stop scoring. And they need to look at that. They were throwing stuff on the field when I was at the game. And like somebody said, other schools doing it. It's a cultural thing. Georgia Tech was doing it. They say they're doing it in Texas. They copying crap they seen in other schools. It's not a CU thing. That's a dumb new generation thing. They throw the water bottles in the air across the stand. They throw them on the field. Like that's cute. That's what they do. I don't been to 2 games this year. One in Georgia Tech and one on that the same thing. At the home, it's the home people doing it. They ain't even throwing it, and they ain't not throwing it at the away team. They so dumb. You think you do that like Texas Tech? They throw it at the away team. You throwing it on your own field. Stupid. Yeah, we don't have a killer instinct. The students was throwing stuff on the field. They was throwing it when I was there. They was throwing it at Georgia Tech. That's what they do. They get the water bottles, and every time they score, they just throw it in the air, throw it, and then some fool throw it on the field. And that's why Coach Prime had to get the mic in the middle of the game and say, quit throwing stuff on the field. But I seen the same thing at Georgia Tech. They throw it right there with security on the field. They were not angry. They were just that's some dumb stuff that they got going on. They just throw stuff on the field. That's what they do. It may be, but that's what they do. And it's like, you know how people copy stuff, it become a phenomenon. It's not unique to Colorado because I don't seen it happen too many times already. So third quarter, not they only scored 7. Fourth quarter, they only scored 3. I also didn't like the defensive tackling at times. I feel like it was a little more reachy than hitty. They need to, they know how to hit when they want to. A lot of reaching instead of running through the tackle. I hope they work on that. So the second level and linebackers still got this issue where they go in and they hitting. They hitting, but sometimes they not reading that backside be wide open. Stay your butt back, read, rat. Don't guess, don't predict. That's my attitude. I also think it's bad, like when you have these key markers, these key what's the word? These key statistics. None of my words here. Where somebody's that close to, like Jimmy was, he was only a couple yards away from a 100-yard game, or we was only 8 yards away from having our first 100-yard rush. All these freaking analysts and Coach Prime always say he don't know. Somebody need to be on their job. I don't care if it's an intern or somebody need to be on their job tracking these stats, because these are significant things that you need to go ahead and do. You can't just keep coming close. Oh, Shador was one pass away from breaking the record. I wish I had known. We need to go ahead and break this 100-yard rusher. We had it as a team, but AI could have been the first one. Just give the ball a couple more times and break the record. There's nothing wrong with that, especially people holding against you. Yeah, they were doing a lot of reaching. Also, let's get into my ugly and we'll close out. What's going on? Thanks for stopping through. We're on the way out of this thing. 2 12 men on the field. Now, this is second defense coordinator in a row. 12 men on the field at the end of the game. Now, what I don't like is I watched the referee hold CU ball, and let the other team get set. CU already be waiting. He let other team get all the way out the field, then he moved. But I noticed that they're not doing that for CU. CU, he hurried them around the field and let them get a penalty. I noticed that, and I'm sitting here like, how they don't never get no penalty. And you sit down, stand over the center, and don't let us snap the ball, and let them people get all the way out the field before you move. But you hurry up and move when Colorado trying to get people out the field and let them snap the ball. I noticed they did that crap last year. Of course. And that goes to these refs, man. We already talked about these refs. You know, the pass interference against Will Shepherd, wrapped his whole arm around the back of him. He's trying to catch the ball with one hand, still catch it, then maintain possession to the ground. You calling out one flag. Everybody like, this is how many weeks in a row you let Will Shepherd get. They used to let Xavier Weaver do that last year. They get him hemmed all up, whole shoulder pad, jersey hung all off right in front of the ref. He's standing, the referee smirking. You know, y'all talk that color crap all the way. I watch him do it right in front of a black referee. You think black referee can't be paid off too? He's doing a job like everybody else. He's doing what his ball tell him like everybody else. And you act like your people is willing to turn down some money for the sake of a group thing. Look at history. Go all the way back to slavery. You want to play that? How many of them sold their own people? That's what they say. So that ref thing is ugly. Ugly. Yeah, the umpire was in Bentley where I saw that. Yeah, the ref they butt right out there and block us from snapping the ball. And while we can catch them, get off the field too. Our people set. They just run off the field. Somebody like it's basketball where we sub, so we gotta let them sub. Well, that's the case, then why we ever get a penalty? If he gonna hold it so because we sub, then we gotta give them a chance to sub. Then why we don't ever get a chance to sub without getting penalties? They get to snap the ball while our man run off the field, but he don't let us snap the ball. Yeah, I've been saying that since last year when we was getting a penalty last year. We was trying to get up tempo crap last year, and the referee stand over the ball while he letting them sub. Like we ain't gotta let them sub. What that happened at? Since when we gotta let them sub? What you think this is? Not an equal, fair transaction. Like they get their butt out there and be ready like we out there. And if we catch them out there, we get a penalty. How are we the only one getting a penalty? It ain't like we got 12 men on the field on purpose. We trying to let a man run off the field, and you let them snap the ball. And the wheel route, ugly. How many weeks in a row a big wheel route? How many rows? The safety was over there talking. No, ain't releasing to the outside, man. You still get picked on the inside. The routes run this way. The safety get picked on the inside, leaving wide open. Yeah, they manipulated tempo last year. Ain't no low key. But they don't let us do that though. And Kansas failed, y'all. Once again, I told y'all about that losing spirit. One thing I noticed about these losing teams, they find a way to lose at any cost. So, at the end of the day, they the losing team. They find a way to lose. The ref helped UCF too. I mean, the refs helped. It probably be more of a zone. You can't run man to man. You chasing this man, and they trying to pick the other man come over here. He ain't already out here. He trying to float out here. You get picked off in the traffic, and he wide open. So you can't be running on man to man. Somebody got to stay their butt out there, release him to the inside. It already was a safety over there. All the cornerback had to do is release him. He running with him. The guy on the inside get picked. Release him. Why? How you think Travis Hunter got that interception at TCU last year? The same. They know how to do the crap. He jumped out there and got the pick interception. He released his man and jumped and got that pick. That's how you play that. That cornerback got to stay out there. You got to release him to the safety and jump out there and jump that route. Help. Make that tackle. You know. Cover two, whatever. So Kansas did what UCF did. They cheated the mess out of UCF at home against BYU. So don't tell me about these refs, and they got an agenda. And they messed up the momentum early, and they jumped all over UCF. But I watched some interesting calls, some fourth down calls, some stuff like that, some spotting of the balls, all that play a hand, especially in the beginning, to help teams. Like I'm under the conclusion. I now have a belief that none of these undefeated teams are undefeated without help. We watched Iowa State get help last year, and they win over UCF. We watched BYU get help over Oklahoma State. I watched BYU get help over UCF this week. We watched Miami 2 weeks in a row get help. I mean, when we watched them get help over Cal, and we watched them get help over Virginia Tech. So at the end of the day, Kansas, one thing I do say, it's like they be shocked that they're winning and they lose. I don't know what it be, but they give up these close games because either they don't expect to be there or they just in shock or what, or they just got to find a way to lose mentality. That's what I'm saying. So Kansas had the game won at the end. They gave up a play. Maybe it was some refs I wasn't watching because I know we had the game won too, and we gave up a bomb. And that's why I said that losing spirit is a mother, because the winning teams find a way to win. That's the only way you can be undefeated. It's going to be some close games. You find a way to win. Losing teams find a way to lose. Oh, we almost won. We almost won. You always almost won. Every week you losing by 3 points. Even look at Cincinnati. All the games they lost up to this week was by like a point or two. They barely lost to Pitt. They barely lost to Arizona State. And so they're a good team. They're a good team. They just ain't found a way to win. But Kansas had Kansas State beat and couldn't find a way to win. So that's what I see. All these teams are beatable. And that's why I know Cincinnati, they can beat Iowa State and they can beat Kansas State. And if they do that and see you win out, guess what, y'all? We in the playoff. We in the bowl game. That's all I'm going to tell you. If Cincinnati now on our payroll, if Cincinnati can go out there and beat Iowa State and beat Kansas State, and Colorado do their freaking job and focus on what they're doing and not go out there and be stupid and get beat by Texas Tech or Kansas or Utah, win against you supposed to be. You're supposed to win. See, you will be in the bowl game, not the bowl game. You will be in the actual conference title because you beat Cincinnati and they beat Iowa State, gave them that one loss in the conference, and you beat them. So you got the head over Iowa State, and then they beat the team you lost to, and now you got the head over them, and you got the head over Kansas State. That's ideal. Cincinnati, I didn't count them originally because nobody was thinking for them. We counted everybody else but Cincinnati. Cincinnati could be that team that you do your job. Don't sit up there and let Cincinnati do their job, and then you go and lose a stupid game. Because that's the only way you can lose stupid. Because they owe you some day games at this point. And you be stupid to let them give you the rest of the season night. I don't care what excuse they have. Shout out Savannah, Georgia. So Colorado's in a good spot. Keep winning. Get healthy over the week. We're going to be watching Cincinnati play Iowa State next week. I'm expecting them to win. And then the next week, we go to Texas Tech, beat them. I'm expecting Cincinnati to beat Kansas State. And then we really going to be having the hype train in because the only two teams going to be left in front of us is the last. We're going to have Kansas that second week. And then the only thing we left, we got 2 home games. And I expect one of them to be the one today. I expect at least 2 more day games, but I can see them giving us 1 more night game. And the bowl and the conference game going to be at night. So the night stuff ain't over with. We just played too many of them in advance. We played too many of them back to back. But we should get at least 2 day games out of here. The one at home. You better give us at least one of them home games. But anywho, I appreciate y'all riding with me. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Definitely, you here, you should be subscribed. I told you it's a long season. It's going to be interesting. And you want to be here to get this analysis here that only you get it. Greg said it. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. And as always, I'll be talking to y'all real soon. Y'all have a good one. And of course, I'll be talking to y'all shortly.